TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donation. Shalom ve'erev tov, good evening, and welcome to our daily TV7 Israel News Bulletin, broadcast from Jerusalem. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to host Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu later this week for a meeting to discuss the Islamic Republic of Iran. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas asserts that the Ayatollah regime will not accept American demands to forgo Tehran's nuclear enrichment program. And Lebanon's Armed Forces Chief of Defense tells Senator Lindsey Graham that Hezbollah is not a terrorist organization in the Lebanese context. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to host Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for his seventh meeting since assuming office later this week on Wednesday, a meeting that is expected to focus on the negotiations between the Americans and the Islamic Republic of Iran. Speaking on the subject over the weekend, President Donald Trump characterized the talks that took place on Friday as very good.
We likewise had very good talks on Iran. Iran looks like it wants to make a deal very badly. We have to see what that deal is. But I think Iran looks like they want to make a deal very badly, as they should. Last time they decided maybe not to do it, but I think they probably feel differently. We'll see what the deal is. It'll be different than last time. And we have a big armada. We have a big fleet heading in that direction. We'll be there pretty soon. So we'll see how that works out.
President Trump was further asked about how long he was willing to wait in relation to the diplomatic window of opportunity which the United States granted the Islamic Republic before triggering a military campaign that could likely realize an end to the Ayatollah regime.
Well, you have to get in position. We have plenty of time. If you remember Venezuela, we waited around for a while, and we're in no rush. We have very good talks going with Iran. We have very good talks going with Russia and Ukraine. We're doing a lot of good talking, and I think we had the results today were with Iran. It was a meeting. We're going to meet again early next week, and they want to make a deal. Iran, as they should, want to make a deal. They know the consequences if they don't. If they don't make a deal, the consequences are very steep. So we'll see what happens.
It is important to know that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu intends to urge President Trump to include the Islamic Republic's support for terror proxies, as well as limiting its ballistic missiles program as part of any diplomatic resolution. Nevertheless, beyond the fact that the Islamic Republic publicly rejects any discussions on its support for its proxies and ballistic missiles program, the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqchi also relayed the Ayatollah regime's unequivocal refusal to accept relinquishing Iran's ability to enrich uranium as part of its nuclear program.
Why have we insisted on enrichment so much and we are not willing to give it up, even if war is imposed on us? Because no one has the right to tell us what we should and shouldn't have. This is based on the principle of negation of domination. I have the right to enrich, according to the law. It is up to me whether I exercise this right or not. The fact that it was said over the years that you don't have the right to enrich, including zero-enrichment. Why? Because the West are concerned. Well, if you're worried, we are prepared to address concerns. If there are questions, we will answer. If there is no trust, we create trust. But no one has the right to tell us that you shouldn't have it because I want it so.
The Ayatollah regime's top diplomat continued by claiming that the Islamic Republic is not afraid from the superior American forces encircling Iran.
Iran's power lies in its ability to resist bullying, hegemony, and pressure from others. They are afraid of our atomic bomb, but we are not looking for an atomic bomb. Our atomic bomb is the power to say no to the great powers. Their military deployment in the region does not scare us. We are people of diplomacy, but we are also people of war. We are not looking for war, but we are ready to fight if we are challenged. We are diplomatic because we have logic on our side, because we choose words. We are logical.
Meanwhile, in Tehran's so-called Palestine Square, the Ayatollah regime has raised a banner with writings in Hebrew, English, and Farsi, showcasing a map of Israel with supposed targets in central Israel, noting that if the United States starts a conflict, the Islamic Republic would supposedly finish it, while writing in Hebrew that in the face of a downpour of missiles, the territory it intends to target is a small area. This latest threat is merely one of many, as the Ayatollah regime is clearly and frantically trying to dissuade any attack against it, as it finds itself in the weakest state since it forcibly seized power in Iran in 1979. Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar, in a joint press conference with visiting Paraguayan Foreign Minister Ruben Ramirez Lezcano, praised the government in Asunción for designating the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps of Iran and highlighting the Ayatollah regime's malign nature.
The Iranian regime is murdering its own people. It destabilizes the Middle East. It spreads terror to other continents, including Latin America. The attempt by the most extreme regime in the world to obtain the most dangerous weapon in the world, a nuclear weapon, is a clear danger to peace in the region and in the world. The huge amounts of long-range ballistic missiles that the Iranian regime seeks to produce endangers Israel, but not just her. The regime already used missiles against other countries in the Middle East. European states are also threatened by the range of these missiles.
Jerusalem's top diplomat continued by addressing Lebanon's failure to reassert its sovereignty over the country because of the Iranian proxy Hezbollah, which hijacked the country a couple of decades earlier.
Lebanon cannot realize its sovereignty because of the presence of the Hezbollah terror army, funded by Iran, on its own soil. This is also the case in Yemen and Iraq. On their soil too, there are terror armies and armed militias funded and armed by the Iranian regime.
It is worth noting that the Lebanese Armed Forces Chief of Defense, General Rodolphe Haikal, visited Washington last week, during the course of which he met with separate U.S. officials and representatives. Among them, Senator Lindsey Graham announced that he had held a very brief meeting, as he put it, with the Lebanese Chief of Defense, cutting it short after General Haikal admitted to Senator Graham that the Iranian proxy Hezbollah was not regarded as a terrorist organization in the context of Lebanon. The remark by the Lebanese Chief of Defense infuriated Senator Graham, who pointed out that Hezbollah has American blood on its hands, and that as long as this attitude exists from the Lebanese armed forces, he does not think that the United States has a reliable partner in them. Meanwhile, in Beirut, French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot visited Lebanon over the weekend, during the course of which he reaffirmed his country's commitment to help the Lebanese armed forces assert sovereignty over Lebanon, pledging Paris's efforts to rally the international community behind Beirut.
Thanks to the ceasefire and the arrival of the new government, whose actions we have consistently supported, the country has rediscovered hope. Lebanese leaders have taken decisive steps to safeguard Lebanon's sovereignty, improve relations with its neighbors, and foster economic recovery. It is no longer a dream, but a tangible reality. While we commend the significant progress made by the Lebanese authorities, we remain clear-sighted about the magnitude of the challenges that remain, as the region stands at a turning point. To everyone, I delivered the same message. France stands with Lebanon to translate its courageous decisions into concrete action in all areas. We are at a crucial juncture regarding the implementation of the ceasefire, the state monopoly on arms, and financial reforms. We must therefore continue to move forward with determination, despite regional tensions and internal constraints.
Making a sharp turn to Yemen, where the Iranian-backed terror organization Ansar Allah, which is dominated by the Houthi tribe, gathered together to proclaim support for the Ayatollah regime in Tehran and the Islamist Hamas terror organization alongside other terror groups in the Gaza Strip, which are fighting Israel.
Allah is great. Death to America. Death to Israel. Curse the Jews. Victory for Islam.
It is important to know that the leader of the Houthi terror organization in Yemen, Abdel Malik al-Houthi, pledged to come to the aid of the Ayatollah regime in Iran if a war breaks out between the United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I would like to seize this opportunity to voice my gratitude if you are a supporter of TV7 Israel. Your donation is essential in helping us produce our daily news updates from here in Jerusalem. If you haven't yet supported TV7 Israel, which is exclusively donation-based, please consider doing so. You can donate via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Separately, please keep the peace of Jerusalem and redemption of Israel in your prayers. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you a Shavua Mevorach, and God willing, until our next update, Shalom from Jerusalem.